Alright. God, I don't even know what to say. I'm trying to get us into game, and people are dropping bits and subs, and I wish again. Thank you so much for the 10,000 bits. Holy shit! Thank you. That's crazy. All because I tried to attach a star to my head. Buy my new headset. I'm going to, dude. I'm gonna get it in the next few days, I think. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, going into our grand finals, TvT. 2 Terran players qualified today for the WardiTV Christmas Invitational. This is now fighting for a $40 first place prize, $10 for second. Bottom left, our red Terran player is souL. And he's going in against the pink Terran to the top right-hand side, Beastyqt. Very excited to have these guys on board for the tournament. And we've got WardiTV as well, and we also have Guru qualified, which I know a lot of you guys don't like Guru, but he played fair and square. He qualified, even won against WardiTV in the finals, so it's going to be a lot of fun seeing these guys playing in the main event. And we're hoping to get a few more players obviously confirmed in the next few days to confirm what's going to be happening and all the rest of it. Alright. Whoosh just tells me to call him Whoosh after all this time. Got it, dude. I'll lose the J. I might just... sometimes I'm just going to say it anyways, though. You know, sometimes when I'm just like... Because I've just said it for so long. I'll try, though. Dude, thank you so much for the 10,000 bits. I appreciate it. Okay, then. So, here we are. In the... Grand Finals. TvT setup has been pretty similar across the board here to begin with. Orbital command centers are at the same time. As we see the Hellion and the Reaper popping down to the low ground. Heading across. Beastyqt, Wardy, would it be possible to make the grand finals of these into a best of 5? Usually it's just a case of, because it's just a qualifier, because this isn't a standalone tournament, it's just a qualifier into another tournament, the players are already qualified. Yeah, there's some prize money on the line, but a lot of the time sometimes the players are just playing for the prize, or just playing for the qualifier rather than necessarily the prize money and stuff, and because it's just a qualifier, we do just do a best of 3 finals. If it was like a weekly tournament where we would like, okay, this is a weekly tournament for $100, we would force a best of 5 finals. But yeah, for the qualifiers, we usually just do best of 3. Just a combination of usually the players all want to, and it's been kind of a longer day for me and stuff like that. Again, like, I don't know. I feel like $50 isn't that much money. It's really just like a benefit, so we can award some OSC bonuses and stuff. So again, I don't want to keep the players here all night for you know, for $50. That's all. Nothing BM or crazy or lazy about it, really. It's mostly just about the players and what they're happy playing. Raven on the way up here from souL, getting up and going. He's already got 1, so going into his second now. 2 Cyclones already out and on the map. And as we'll see, supply depots dropping down around the place to get this rolling. And that Raven, with 2 of them, he's going to have quite a lot of pressure available to move across and maybe get some damage done here. We do see 2 extra factories added on from Beastyqt in the main base. Interesting, though. He's just going to go into... I mean, so many Cyclones already, but... No Magfield. Sorry, he does have Magfield Accelerate. Okay, my part. So yeah, Cyclones, Magfield. I mean, it's just going to be pretty standard mech, right? For TvT, it's not going to be how about Cyclone only or something like that. As you have the Marines, the Raven, the tank all sat just on the front of the natural. Another tank coming forwards as well. And there's a couple of engineering bays dropping down from souL in the natural too. So he's going to show us that he is going to be playing bio. Beastyqt with his 3rd CC down and in position is already setting up towards his mech play. It feels like souL's been very passive though for what Beasty's up to. Beasty comes forwards, locks on with these Cyclones and gets a couple kills. souL's just kind of sat back with the Ravens and probably like, yeah, you know, I got my 3rd base coming up, all good. Beasty's just got his 3rd base in location, feeling good, his production is set up. And as a mech play, he's had nothing to worry about so far, and that is just kind of the absolute dream. Now, he has bypassed a starport, which does mean he's in this awkward situation, though, of playing mech without air control. So souL will maintain the early mech control here with the combination of the Ravens and the Vikings, obviously. And that is quite critical for mech players and for playing bio against mech successfully, so... Cyclone's dropping down, going to lock onto that Viking. Viking gets picked off pretty swift. A couple of Ravens dropping order turrets here to pick off a couple of Cyclones. That was quite nice. That was actually a very elongated flank, wasn't it? souL sent those units all the way around. I was kind of wondering where they were off to. Turns out they were just off to actually flank those Cyclones, and suddenly the order turrets have picked up some kills to souL with a pretty genius master plan, really. He is now going to start bringing this across the map. Now he just loses a Viking here. 2 of his Vikings still on the ground too. Scanning ahead, Beastyqt is unsieging his tanks and relocating them. Remember, the Ravens here can interfere in his Matrix if he wants to try and take position. Those Vikings still up in the on the ground rather than up in the skies. Here's a go. The Matrix is going to get the tanks forwards and down, but I'm not sure if it's really going to be enough. A couple of tanks left over against SCVs pulling in. Backs away. And souL not really able to do too much more here just yet. So the starport is up now here from Beasty as he goes into his double armory as well. He is going to add in a couple more Cyclones, so again a couple of Cyclones on the way up. As we have out in the center, actually the units from souL getting caught, so Beasty picking up some kills there. Now he'll continue to counterattack, and he's up by 13 army supply. And there's actually a bit of an opportunity here, I feel. Yeah, those Ravens are nice, but they don't have the highest amounts of energy. Hellions and tanks coming around the left. Going to be popping forwards and going to be able to grab a couple of SCVs already. Oh my god, that's 9 workers straight away. This is kind of getting better and better for Beasty. Auto turrets will come down, as obviously souL does not want to really let this get too well established. Tank on the high ground is actually doing a pretty good job of fending this off. The Ravens are now complete dead weight with no real health left on them. Tank gets picked off though, and there isn't much left over here towards the end. Tank of souL will help to push this away. Man, this is pretty crazy though. Locks onto a Raven, but will lose vision. And a couple of Cyclones, a couple extra Cyclones showing up, so he's again playing this kind of Cyclone heavy style, continuing through this. SCV is coming forwards and going to start repairing up a Raven, as we do see a bunch of Cyclones and Hellions coming through the center of the map. They are going to continue heading down to the bottom side of things here. souL again scanning up above and seeing what's up. Now Beastyqt just jumps on, gets another Siege Tank kill, and finding a whole bunch of damage with these units so far. For some reason he left one Hellion behind, and that will get a couple shots off. I'm not sure quite how that worked or what the intention was. It's kind of funny that souL just kind of ran past it for a little while. +1 vehicle attack, +1 vehicle plane coming in at the moment. Extra depots dropping down the main base. souL still coming up to the top side. Marines are going to stim ahead and go after the Vikings. So one Viking goes down, another Viking up into the main. Stimming in towards this right-hand side base at the moment. A couple of interference Ravens going down. Lock-on actually gets rid of one of the Ravens, and the Viking will get rid of the other in the background. Interesting little moment though. SCVs are going to pull in to try and help defend this. I mean, if you clean this up, you've killed a lot of the units of your opponent, but I guess you've also lost a lot of this Beastyqt, and you also lose 24 SCVs. souL gets a lot of damage out of this, and the units that remain from Beasty are very much so the cheap units that aren't as important. The Hellions here rather than the Cyclones and the tanks. So there's not really much of a case for a counter-attack either. A couple of Widowmines just kind of hidden around the map with drilling claws. That's frustrating, actually. As we'll see, those Hellions, they're going to hit this mineral line. There's nothing immediately in position to defend, so I mean, from losing 24 workers, you get 8 kills here, and, you know, get out with a good few of the Hellions. So that's is also not so bad, is it? We're just going to pick those Hellions off, and again, just going to be seeing a Siege Tank firing away. A couple of Hellions doing a good job as well. What's up, TieSticks? Thank you so much, not just for supporting this tournament over on the Matcherino page, but also for the 2-month resub. Thanks for providing us awesome content in Castle. Thank you so much for supporting the aforementioned content. Thank you so much. Give us some love in the chat for TieSticks and the 2-month resub. I'll get you up on the tree after this game. We'll find more decorations, man. Oh, there you go. Yo, we got a glittery green one. I've not even seen a glittery green one before, I feel. SCV's going down again as Hellions poke on in. Getting a little bit of bio just sat off over to the left-hand side, and then again, tanks and Hellions coming out the front. Those two vehicle weapons and vehicle plating coming in the main base. Marauders coming forwards, planning forwards here. And again, Beastyqt is really having a very back and forth game with souL at the moment, as the SCVs will pull in to repair up this plandry. Siege tank gets picked off, and again, tanks continue to siege those Marauders and Marines. Going to have to keep on pulling away. Switching in towards air upgrades, souL is looking to move in towards an air army that can help to combat this mech play. You get the Viking count up, you take over the skies, then your Liberators do a very good job most of the time. Again, bio coming around a little bit. Vikings coming forward, so you get, well, a couple of medevacs already. There's 2 medevacs going down right away, and again, just some Hellions on the left side from Beastyqt. Not really able to do much at the moment, though. Again, more Vikings coming up. Starport finishing. Fusion Core is about to complete as well here from souL. And these Widow Mines with drilling tools are so annoying. There's just a couple of them scattered around the map, but they're just picking up a unit here, a unit then. It forces a scan as well, so it's almost always finding some pretty decent value for what is just a Widow Mine. And I mean, a Widow Mine really is not expensive, by a long stretch. Tanks stitching up, Cyclones are locking on to push those medevacs and Marauders away. Beastyqt will hold on. His mech army is still going pretty well for the most part. Hellions diving by, and it's these run-bys that keep getting so much done. Oh, those SCVs are low. Only gets to 7 in the end. A couple of them getting very lucky, surviving that one hit from death. You guys want to see units lost? Sure, there you go. Nothing of note. 38 SCVs lost from souL is maybe worth knowing, but 28 lost from Beastyqt. Again, it's been back and forth in terms of harassment. Players going up against each other. Resources lost is dead even, more or less. 11.2 to 11.5. Really can't distinguish much there. And both of them have been on pretty similar incomes for the majority of the game. Beasty's had these extra spikes, and maybe has roughly had just a little bit more overall, but yeah, still a pretty close game. Just more and more Hellions keep running into this space, and it gets better and better. It's been dealt with better and better every time, but still damage being done. High-sec auto tracking denied there on the engineering bay as we see these bio units. Well, I mean, there's only really these Marauders and Marines after this. The medevacs were already dealt with, so they're just going to try and do what they can. Meanwhile, though, trying to set up an attack in towards this third base. Already a couple of missile turrets in some issues. Widow Mine burrows there, and actually will just go off. Oh, on a Marauder. Doesn't quite hit the Vikings. The Vikings from Beastyqt trying to fight now to hold on to this fight. He's got a couple of 4s. Needs to get them over to deal with that Liberator, which is going to start picking away at siege tanks. 4s are going to move forwards, and they are just going to pick their way through that Liberator, so in the end, not so terrible. And a couple of Widow Mines coming up to support this. Still a couple of Marauders up in the main base. They are starting to finally go down, but still has not been pretty, as the Vikings for a moment look as though they might want to land here, but Cyclones chase them off pretty fast, and not really too surprising. More Widow Mines just burrowing all over the place. Oh my god! Widow Mine's going to blow up a Viking here. Doesn't get the kill, but obviously hits it. Depending on where this Viking's going to be absolutely critical, so that's something to keep in mind. You see just a couple of Liberators here. The Vikings are still quite far back as the SCVs are going down. BC also dealing with a Liberator over on the left-hand side. The Vikings did fly into these Widow Mines, and Beasty just scans to see the damage done now almost. I wonder if he really needed to do that. A few Vikings getting away, but only just. +3 ship weapons, +3 vehicle plating. souL is going to take an upgrade lead in the skies, as he's killed off 16 SCVs in the last few moments, and he's still just been so annoying with these Liberators. Just finding position after position where the missile turrets don't cover, and making it so hard for Beastyqt to realistically do anything about it. Beasty is going to start pushing though. If there's one thing that souL hasn't been doing very well, he has not been keeping his opponents, he's not been keeping his own army kind of up and alive, so That's one thing that can definitely maybe go well here. We don't mind. He's actually getting a whole bunch of those Vikings. Oh my god, all the Vikings just died. souL just lost his air army. The Liberators went down pretty quickly too, and advancing forwards now. Beastyqt, workers being killed or not, might just have enough to push across here and end this game. There's not enough bio on the ground at the moment, so at least a couple of bases are going to be lost here. And Beastyqt is gaining ground and momentum. As you're going to be seeing the SCVs being chased away. Hellions continue to chase over to that far left-hand side, going after those SCVs. I mean, may as well, right? There's just so many free pickings there. That medevac could have lifted them up, but doesn't. More SCVs going down now as we see pushing towards this right-hand side base. I mean, this base gutted of workers. This base is going to be a similar story very soon. There is more bases from souL around the map, as he's making 5 Liberators to try and fight here against this. There's Widowmine to try and help out. Again, Planning Force taking some shots, and just going to be seeing a couple of Liberators taking some damage here. Tanks firing away. Marauders getting picked off pretty quickly as well. 20 SCVs killed, and again, there's a couple of tanks firing away. And GG's. Here's Proxy 2 racks in here to get us going for game number 2 on Automaton. So 2 racks Reaper is going to be the choice. I mean, it's a solid build. It gets you into a decent position enough of the time, I would say. Let's see if it's going to work out for him, though, as do you see the first Reapers currently on the way up. The 2-Rax Reaper, you're obviously pretty much always looking to kind of follow home with Factory and, you know, get ready to expand at some stage. But Beasty, seeing this early, builds this bunker. I feel like this bunker is kind of far away from the correct position. Beasty only has Marines at the moment, by the way, so he actually loses a lot of mobility against that Reaper, which means that Reaper in the mineral line is actually very frustrating for him to deal with. But he can save gas, which means he can get his Hellion up here pretty quick. I wonder if he just builds the starboard in the main base. I'd kind of love to see it just because he could. It'd be kind of amusing as this Reaper is actually stuck in the corner, so Reaper will go down. It's a weird map. You don't expect this to almost be kind of locked in, but it is. And now these 3 Marines in the bunker means that any Reaper jumping up will pretty much go super low on HP. I imagine the bunker was just like here or something. I mean, I get it, you maybe want to defend the ramp, but I don't think you need to defend the ramp that much. As well, 2 free SCVs going down. This is the real moment of truth. Is enough damage going to be done? 4 workers killed? It's hard to say, as this SCV is just going to be wandering around. Factory on the way up now from souL back at home, and Beasty just making another Hellion. Maybe even, I mean, again, the Reaper count is low right now, right? So there's nothing to really keep Beasty at home, or not too much at least. I like the medevac. I feel with a medevac and a push across the map, there's a lot of potential here for our Terran players, so we'll see how this turns out. As souL is still just kind of setting his Reapers up on the low ground. Beasty wants to be careful with these Hellions then. Yeah, sure, get a couple shots off, but don't lose a Hellion. That's the last thing you want. 3 Reapers are actually dangerous against Hellions. It's surprising how much they can get done. And as we're going to see the couple of SCVs pulling in to repair those Hellions up, and so repair's coming down. Barrack's going to lift up and move to the side for a reactor. And again, more Reapers from souL just getting set up at the front. And Beastyqt heads across to the top right-hand side of the map here to get going. Hellions picking away at a couple of these Reapers. I mean, 4 Hellions should be pretty good against these Reapers. Oh my god. Come on, these Reapers are so low! No! Come on, you can't let them get away with this. No way do these Reapers survive. Boom, kills 1. Boom, kills 2! No way. Reapers are insane sometimes. It's actually crazy. Well, Marines in the main. The Cyclone. Where is that the first Cyclone on the way up now? Oh my god, it is. So these Marines actually don't have much competition at the moment in terms of getting damage done. Straight in for 4 workers. We'll obviously chase for a few more. The Cyclone pops out now. Locks onto the medevac. Medevac will just back away out of Cyclone range anyways. Obviously, Cyclone can be repaired here, but there's SCVs that are ripe for the picking. Cyclone lock-on doesn't exactly kill Marines very quickly either. You see the Marines just stepping back, lifts a couple up, drops them back down to get them out of the surround. Tries to target down another couple low health SCVs. This is 11 workers killed. At the same time, Beastyqt is losing SCVs back at home because the Reapers are still around. Man, those Hellions, it's crazy how those Hellions went down. If those Hellions didn't go down, they killed those Reapers, and they were so low, by the way, then all of a sudden Beasty is like 9 or 10 workers ahead. Instead, Beasty's in not a terrible position, obviously, but it's now he's actually down in workers, and he's also down a base as well, because souL did get a base started up, and that's something Beasty never really committed into. So, bit of a tough game number 2 here. See this one Marine poking this racks away. I just can't believe those Hellions let the Reapers get it. I mean, it's not really letting them. It was great micro from souL. It was really great control to make sure they did everything correctly, but still, it's just... wow, crazy to watch sometimes. Scan comes down right away as the Banshee gets locked onto. Instant scan, instant kill, and Beasty is just bleeding out on units, and, well, over time he's going to bleed out in the game with the lack of a natural command center that souL has. He is just not going to be able to stick around in this. Raven on the way up from the starport. Marines coming over to push this barracks away to the right side. And Rack's taking quite a lot of damage so far. Being pushed all the way out into the front. And again, SCV ready to drop down a command center. There it is. Boom! CC drops down. Don't know if it actually needed to say boom to be said. This was very good for a little while here from... this was very good for a little while for Beasty, but kind of went a little bit haywire at points. As we're going to be seeing Marines and tanks starting to move out to the top side of the map. Raven and a couple of Cyclones gathering on up. Took a Marine off to the side, and again, just getting this set to go almost. Scan comes down. We do see this Viking is unable to get a Banshee kill, so Beastyqt is able to get some damage here. Beasty has an army supply lead, so there is some potential for him to do something with this. If he gets into a good position from the left-hand side, he's got a Banshee that can maybe take down a tank at the front right away. I think this tank going down would be really important. He is going to be in position on the bunker at the very least, though. He does get the tank. Okay, well, suddenly the natural expansion of souL is in trouble, and the biggest issue is his SCVs are down here, right? So you can't really... it's going to be tough to get the SCVs out. The natural CC just taking damage. Here we go. Diffuse maybe on both of the siege tanks. The Banshee will go forwards and target down the Cyclone. And the Banshee just gets targeted in the process anyways. Tanks are about to come off cooldown, though, and there is one more tank in the background. Oh, it's going to get kind of weirdly close. Another Banshee showing up as well. souL is still struggling to hold on because these SCVs will now start to drop en masse. Beastyqt is expanding back at home and is making this work. Vikings on a Banshee, but the Banshee will get out of range of the scan, but there is a Raven coming back over, getting as many SCVs as he can. 18 workers killed in this. souL still up by 4 as we see a tank and a Marine are currently fighting. The tank will immediately unsiege to try and fight back against the Vikings. Don't know why he's pulling back, but should have just got as much damage as he could done. SCVs repair the natural, and souL is still up by 4 workers, but this game is turning on its head and is kind of going back and forth between the two of them still. A fantastic TvT we've got on our hands here so far. Beasty and souL are absolutely delivering some top quality games today. Can say that much at the very least. Some really good StarCraft action. I've been really enjoying all of it. Hopefully you guys feel the same as well. Man, it's crazy so far. It's crazy. Vikings are Raven coming over, and they will target a Banshee. Banshee going to get picked off there. Auto turret drops down, and just going to be seeing the Vikings dropping in the middle of the map, but this is a lot of kills on these Vikings. Does get a siege tank there in the end. That Raven was low. If that Raven goes down, that's going to be crazy as well. Man, this whole push got so much damage done. I'm just thinking about it, because Beast just came in from this side, and souL was just that little bit out of position right from the start. But again, it goes to show you lose that many workers, and that's how far ahead souL was to now come out on equal worker counts and into a game of StarCraft 2 where, honestly, either player could realistically go and take this now. Beasty's already going up to 5 racks, by the way, and there's only 1 barracks from souL here because he's gone into a 3rd CC. So souL will have the eco lead again, but Beasty will once more be in a position where he can be the aggressor. With 5 racks on the map, he will have so much more Marine production, he will have so many more units, but he needs to make use of them. He needs to get something done with them, because otherwise, he's already 5 workers behind, and he's only going to get further behind with a 3rd CC up, and now soon to be in position. Show the incomes. There you go. I mean, as expected, souL was massively ahead, and obviously a bit of a downfall, but starting to get back into it as he gets mined again and retakes that lead. Liberator and also Vikings plus a Raven moving around the map. A couple of interesting harassment squads here. And souL trying to put the pressure back onto Beastyqt for a little while. Beasty starts up his... well, has put one on the way. He's very far behind on Stim. Good positioning on these Marines will allow him to push those Vikings and the Raven away with ease. I wouldn't mind coming across the map too. The Liberator about siege up in the back of the natural will be in range of a siege tank as well. I mean, a siege tank at this stage of the game is actually kind of a big deal because it is kind of, you know, you kind of need those if you want to be Beastyqt and trying to end the game kind of soon. Marines will come in and try and shut that Liberator down. The Liberator will get picked off. And the main base Vikings have landed, and this just seems like a real kind of opportunity to get so much damage done here from souL, just in multiple different locations across the map. This SCV sees the third command center, and souL is back up 20 workers. There's pretty much time for Beastyqt to get across the map and to try and make something happen. He's got Stim, so he's about to have Stim. He will not have combat shields. souL has combat shields on the way. souL is down an upgrade at the moment as well, but he is about to have 1-1. As AB is called in the chat. Ay. Okay, so here we go. Marines and tanks continue to come across to the top right-hand side here. Medevac's going to start boosting across into the main base. So here we go. The chance to try and get damage done. First volley of Viking shots is great, and one of those Medevacs was already low. And that's just going to be Beasty losing out on so much already in this. And those tanks are going to get siege, which is always going to make it difficult. I mean, can Beasty really find enough damage from this after already losing so much at the start? Here you go, Bio moving forwards. I mean, the Bio's moving through some awful choke points here. The Marines keep pulling back as well, and that tank on the low ground can target fire the tank on the high ground as well. I mean, oh my god, Beasty. Really? He's kind of making it happen. He's missing Medevacs. Just down a little bit of a barracks there. Will save his tank on this higher low ground as well. 14 SCVs killed. I mean, still up massively in workers. I like the idea that Beasty's got of just trying to make it work in the main base. Because obviously if he shuts down production here, souL is not going to be able to remake units very easily or gather them together. So shutting down barracks and stuff is actually hugely amazingly good in this situation. Here we go, those, tanks on the low ground are still making this work, and souL does not have the army supply he needs. What a play by Beasty, what a position to take. I mean, you could not have asked for more in this, as those Marines are going to be unloading. I mean, 3 racks remain. There's a siege tank in the background, which is going to load up. What is souL going to do, though? There's a 3rd tank sieging on the low ground. There's Marines here, too. Brings one of the tanks up to the high ground as well. I actually don't know what you do for the best right now. He actually unloaded this tank back in the main base. What a play by Beasty. Like, this is like the one play he could have had, and he already had a play earlier that was like do or die, and he made it happen. And now he has another kind of do or die play. 2 base against 3, massively downing workers, and he pushes himself into the main base so he can just shut down his opponent's production, knowing that if he can shut down his opponent's production, this game becomes very awkward. souL is rebuilding 5 racks in other bases of his. Some Marines, realizing that probably there's no production up and the Marine units that are here are in the main, is actually going to start sending some Marines over towards this base over here, and shouldn't target fire the command center, though. Should go for as many SCVs as he can. Marines are already chasing him down. This factory now will fall as well. The tanks have gone elsewhere. Yeah, those few Marines didn't actually end up doing all too much, as he finds 2 of the new barracks in the background here. He's going to be able to go for that. I mean, already the orbital is taking some trouble. souL is scanning the 3rd base of Beasty to try and figure out if he's dead or not. But that's never a good sign when you're scanning your opponent's bases that aren't there to see if you've got a fighting chance. Beasty sieges up this Liberator. Isn't quite on top of that tank, right? No, the circle is not quite right. I mean, he killed the starport, so there's no real anti-air going to be coming up from souL here anyways. Tank on sieges gives Beasty a chance to move forward with his own siege tanks, and yes, he has to eat a couple of shots, but he will make his way on top of that tank, and he takes it down. The brand new factory is not finished yet, so new tanks cannot be made still. I don't even know, I thought there was 2 tanks, but obviously Beasty's made his way through them already. So much faster than I thought he could. And, well, now there's just these few Marines that are trying to hold on in the natural, but Beasty keeps on pressing forwards. A crazy game of TvT, actually really spectacular. Maybe my favorite game that I cast all day long. This was really quite something. Fantastic game. And wow, 12 SCVs down and dropping still, as we're going to be seeing GG called by souL. 28-29 workers at the end. Beastyqt takes it.